fire, your major worry is out. So our steam locomotives are very safe as far as I'm concerned. They go through testing every time we get them out. They go through what's called a hydrostatic test, which is water pressure is pushed in the boiler 1.5 times its operating temperature, and then we look all over the locomotive and some major failure points that they have and use hammers and chisels to check them out to make sure there's no weak spots. All the safety apparatuses are tested every season and checked. Steam pressure, steam blow-off valves, we have 2 of them on every unit. You know, if one would fail, you know, hopefully the other one would be in good shape. I think they're very safe.
We were under state jurisdiction as far as the boiler was concerned up until this past year, and now we're considered self-inspection, and we do all of our own now due to the change in the Iowa state law. But I've got 15 years of labor and love in this locomotive, and I'm not going to let it blow up due to a mechanical failure of the boiler, and that's what we're watching out for. We're not only watching out for the public safety, we're watching out for everything we've put into this, and if it does blow up, it's going to take us with it, and we're certainly not going to let that happen.
When they're maintained in good operating condition, they're as safe as anything. The largest part of the safety is dependent on the people operating them. They're as safe as the operators are. I mean, it's like anything else. You have safe operators and careless operators, and we try to put an end to the careless operators around here. We don't have very much trouble with that. But you find that anywhere nowadays. You've got safe operators and some people who fail to make all the checks off the checklist. But we try to maintain a safe one here. Well, as this railroad started out, it started out as a hobby, and it eventually became quite a successful hobby, manufacturing and remanufacturing our own parts, and other railroads came to call on us for assistance in making or manufacturing parts or finding things even, and it just ended up that we had so many requests for favors that somebody one day just said, well, why don't we just get serious about this and make it a business?
Shop services just started here about a year ago. Maybe, I think it's about a year and a half ago, something like that. They basically rebuild engines, parts, fabricate parts and everything for railroads all around the country. And if we can't figure out how to do it, we'll find somebody that can figure out how to do it. With the steam engines today, you don't run down to your local 5 and dime and buy a part for it. You have to either make it or find somebody that has a bunch of old parts from a shop somewhere that might work, but that's pretty few and far between to find stuff like that. And we have a over-the-road shop, which is set up in a semi-trailer, and we go around and work for several weeks at different railroads, working on their engines there and everything. And then we also have them hauled in here and work on them here.
Shop services was one of those lucky accidents. I guess it all started maybe 6 or 7 years ago. A gentleman in Des Moines bought a miniature train at an auction. He took it to another guy to rebuild it for him, and the other guy got it all tore down and then abandoned it. And he called us one day, wanted to know if we could put it together for him, and we said, sure, we'll do that. So we brought it up, We did this job for him, complete rebuild, it ran like a watch when we got done with it. And then the following summer, one of our tourist road friends down in Missouri was having trouble with their locomotive. It needed completely rebuilt. And we had just rebuilt one of our own, and we thought we had time, so okay, well, we'll help you out. So we completely rebuilt that one. And then it just sprung from that. People found out we were doing it, and we were getting orders for work from all over the country. And then after we got into it a little bit, we decided, well, if we're going to do it, let's do it. So then we published a catalog nationwide informing people in the industry that we were doing this. And it just grew from this.
The majority of our larger projects actually happen within 2 weeks before the show. If we have something that's a real major project for 1 year, we have a lot of horsepower then. We have 150, 200 people that are willing to help during that time, so if we got the muscle to do something like that, that's the time to do it, and we try to schedule that, one major project a year. An example of that would be all the crossings were put in 1 year, all the automated crossings. So and that was a lot of work. There was sandblasting and repair and wiring, and you had a lot of people of different talents that took to get that project up and going and in, and that works out pretty good during that kind of a situation.
During the off-season, usually until the summer, like through the winter, it's usually a couple of guys come in on the weekends, and we'll just tinker around with a little project. We'll go around and find something that needs to be done. Just recently we had some problems with one of our little track toys, which we call the Fairmont, which is a track inspection car, and the Model T and the Model A, we call them the toys. And we had a problem with the Fairmont, and we just recently got that worked out, and then a couple weeks ago took it out and played with it all day on Sunday, so we had a little fun there. Mainly we just play around until summertime. When the summer comes around, we hit it pretty hot and heavy with track work and any work on the engines that we have to have done for the show, and a lot of stuff like that. About 2 weeks before the reunion, it gets real busy around here. It gets to the point where everybody's so frustrated because we're trying to get last-minute projects get done, and usually we get it done. That's the best time to do a major project, is about 2 weeks before the show, because you have a lot of help and everybody's eager to work. But with the amount of help that we have then, which we wish we had all year round, because then we could move mountains if we had the volunteers year round like we do during the show. But right there before the show, we just move mountains. We get anything